Good afternoon. It's Monday, July 16. I'm Herman Green with the Midday News. A special welcome if you're watching online at onespotmedia.com. Prosecutorial misconduct. That's the charge being leveled against government lawyers as the appeal for Vybz Kartel and his co-accused got underway in the Court of Appeal this morning. Attorney at law Bert Samuels raised concerns this morning that the jury was allowed to deliberate despite the fact that one juror was trying to bribe other members of the jury panel. Mr. Samuels argued that the Director of Public Prosecutions, Paula Llewellyn, advised the trial judge not to discontinue the case despite knowing that the jury was tainted. He argued that the DPP was prepared to have the appellants tried by a jury that was not transparent. Mr. Samuels pointed out that the DPP has a duty as Minister of Justice to ensure someone is tried by an impartial jury. He said the DPP failed to use her powers to see that justice was done in this case. Kartel is appealing the life sentence imposed on him in 2014 for the murder of Clive Lizard Williams. 3 other men, Sean Campbell, Andre St. John, and Kiara Jones, were also convicted for the murder. The Kingston Eastern Police say a lack of resources is hampering their ability to tackle violence in the division. The police high command yesterday had to deploy reinforcements to a team of cops on patrol in the Oliver Road and Jarrett Lanes area was cornered by gunmen. Commanding officer for the Kingston Eastern Police, Superintendent Victor Hamilton, says more cops are needed to deal with the many troubled communities in the division. The smoke nuisance caused by fire at the retirement dump is now affecting businesses in sections of St. James. This is the second day of continued air pollution, which has fueled Mayor of Montego Bay, Homer Davis's demand for the National Solid Waste Management Authority to urgently arrest the problem.
To the citizens who are living in the immediate area and extended area who are suffering as a result of this excessive smoke across section of Montego Bay. It is, in my opinion, it's a very unwelcome situation, but it is a situation that, from information, has been caused by someone deliberately lighting the dump.
He is therefore calling for the requisite legislation to be put in place to govern dump sites island-wide and the necessary security and apparatus and infrastructure.
What this has shown us is that we need to secure the dump. And in securing the dump, we will have to make areas around the dump sterile. I don't know what legislative framework there will be, but the dump needs to be secure, and secure by fencing, and secure by the necessary surveillance cameras, and secure by the necessary security.
Now, the retirement dump in St. James caught fire on Saturday. NSWMA Executive Director Audley Gordon, who spoke with our news team on Sunday, said his team, along with firefighters, have been battling the blaze since Saturday afternoon. The refurbished special care nursery at the University Hospital of the West Indies was officially opened on Friday. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton commended the facility, indicating that it helps to bring the standards of the hospital in line with international best practices.
So, infection control, quality of care, management of information, and communication, all combined with the new and improved look and equipment of the facilities, I think makes this facility top class and one that would be similar to anywhere else in the developed world.
The refurbishing of the nursery with equipment and structural improvements cost 16 million Jamaican dollars. For Dr. Tufton, the upgrade is also a reflection of the aim of the Health Ministry's Compassionate Care program.
It's a very important program. And again, the University Hospital of the West Indies, premier facility, regional facility, tertiary level facility, must establish best practices in all areas. So not just on the technical side, but also on the customer service side, ensuring that we demonstrate empathy and compassion and recognize that it is a part of the therapeutic process as we seek to treat patients and overcome the challenges that they face in their respective areas.
Meanwhile, concerns are being raised again about the unsanitary conditions of the Maypen Hospital. Councillor for the Yorktown Division, Vybz Kartel, is imploring the Health Minister to intervene as he says the bathroom facilities and the lack of beds are affecting the day-to-day activities at the hospital.
I have taken someone there who was sick and they had to go to the bathroom and I was in shock. Water all over the place is messy, the place is not looking good. I saw it for my own self. Yeah. And I am disturbed to know that at this time we cannot Midday Hospital, which is one of the probably newest hospital for a while now built in Jamaica. I am saying why there is no bed in Midday Hospital, whether it be in the emergency room or in the wards. It cannot continue.
However, Councillor for the Denby Division, Joel Williams, is disputing the claim.
The reason why he made mention of shortage of bed. There's no shortage of bed. There's no shortage of bed. Okay. Not bed. Space. Not bed. Space. If you don't have enough space, you can find the bed. We have to find space.
Member of Parliament for Central Manchester, Peter Bunting, believes targeting early childhood education is one way to tackle the country's crime problem. He's convinced that children who receive quality education at a tender age are less likely to break the law when they become adults. Speaking at the function in Manchester on Thursday, he pointed to a United States study which tracked the lives of children who received quality early education for 2 decades and showed positive results.
When you impart the proper socialization during that critical period when children are forming their character and personality, that stays with them for their entire lives. So there is hardly any better investment that a society can make and a community can make than an early childhood institution.
The government is continuing its effort to strum up support for the National Identification System NIDS program through community meetings. The most recent was in Hermitage in St. Andrew Eastern, where a Member of Parliament, Vybz Williams, and representatives from the Office of the Prime Minister fielded questions about the program. The National Identification System, NIDS, continues to be a concern for Jamaicans, according to St. Andrew Eastern Member of Parliament, Vybz Williams, mainly because of a lack of information. Hence, this NIDS Community Forum.
This is a beginning step to bring information to citizens within their community, within their familiar surroundings.
And hence, the questions.
What is documented to protect us from not just another person in your room saying stealing your identity, but in terms of, and you made mention to the international standards of security that you're going to follow. Which international standards are that you're talking about?
Community members also questioned the quality of data protection that would be used. Chief Technical Director at the Office of the Prime Minister, Jacqueline Lynch-Stewart, says it is based on the robust data protection standards of the European Union. Additionally,
you as an individual, me too, all of us, will be able to know whether somebody has asked about us or not from the entity, from Nero. So no one can get information about you without you knowing, because that is in the database. A log is kept, never to be deleted, and you can have access to that for you alone.
Mrs. Lynch-Stewart insists that in addition to this built-in data protection measure, the Data Protection Bill, which is now before a joint select committee of Parliament, will also provide security measures. Concerns were also raised about the personal information being requested, but Vybz Williams countered that most Jamaicans have already given this information for passports and even to foreign governments.
When you get your visa, right, they want your fingerprint, they want your eye scan, they scan your iris, all of that. You give it freely. And if you get to go away, when you get to immigration over there, you have to give your fingerprint again. You have to look in a camera and they take your eye print again. So you give up this information freely right now anyways.
Other concerns raised prior to the Hermitage meeting include services that may be withheld if a citizen does not agree to be a part of the NIDS program. Ms. Williams says this is the first of several for her constituency, and all misconceptions will be corrected as they arise. The private sector organization of Jamaica, PSOJ, is demanding a timeline for the implementation of job descriptions and protocols for government ministers. During the 2016 election campaign, Prime Minister Andrew Holness had promised that under a Jamaica Labour Party government, job descriptions and key performance indicators would be implemented for members of his cabinet. The latest scandal at Petrojam and calls for Dr. Andrew Wheatley to be removed from the cabinet have again sparked debate in relation to that election promise. PSOJ President Howard Mitchell says until the protocols are in place, there will be a repeat of the Petrojam saga.
We are concerned, however, that the rules, procedures, and protocols for governance and for the conduct of those ministerial portfolios are not yet in place, and there's no mechanism in place, whether through the Ministry of Finance or through an independent body, to monitor and enforce those procedures, rules, and policies, and to provide that when they are breached, that there is a sanction.
In news overseas, Syrian government forces say they have retaken a town that was the epicenter of the civil war that engulfed the country and the region for more than 7 years. We have the details from the CNN.
The latest wave of human suffering in Syria. Shove what they can, a life's worth of possessions crammed into a truck. Kilometers away, the Syrian regime bombards the Daraa region in the country's southwest corner. The familiar black smoke of the civil war. More buildings, more towns and villages reduced to rubble. Tens of thousands have fled, most towards Jordan, others to the frontier separating Syria from the Israel-occupied Golan Heights. A new life on the run, family in tow, without electricity or clean running water.
We fled because of the indiscriminate bombings that never stop. Every day there is a massacre in Nawa. The situation is so terrible. We've been here for a week and we have seen zero help, no water, no food. It's a catastrophic situation.
We have no shelter from the sun or the cold. We can't go back and get anything because of the heavy bombing. Where are we supposed to go? There are no tents here. There is nothing here, and we have been like this for a year. Where are we supposed to go? Do we go back to the bombing and shelling?
On the high ground, Israel watches the new arrivals, thousands so far, gathering at the fence. Thursday night, an Israeli army convoy opened the wire and delivered tents, food, medical supplies, and clothing.
And we go on to sports. Jamaica bagged 7 more medals on Sunday's final day of the inaugural Athletics World Cup Championship in London, ending with 16 medals overall. Here's Trishana McGowan.
National 100 meters champion Taekwondo Tracy improved on his personal best in capturing the men's 100 meters title. Tracy stopped the clock at 10.03 seconds ahead of American Kendall Williams in 10.05. Commonwealth silver medalist Shanika Ricketts upgraded her Commonwealth silver medal by winning gold with a personal best effort in the women's triple jump. Ricketts got the sand at 14.61 meters, beating USA Katira Orji, who finished with 14.60 meters by 1 centimeter. World and Olympic bronze medalist over 400 meters, Sherika Jackson, added another 200 meters global medal to her collection when she crossed the line first in the women's 200 meters. Jackson raced to 22.35 seconds to peg back American Jenna Prendini, who clocked 22.45. Meanwhile, Janine Williams secured silver in the women's 100-meter hurdles in 12.95 seconds. Jamaica's sprint relay team, headed by Olympic and world champion Shelly Fraser-Price, also won silver. The team of Fraser-Price, Tisana Hicklin, Janelle Smith, and Sharika Jackson clocked 42.60 seconds behind Great Britain 42.52 and China 42.94 third. But the men's 4x400 meters team of Rashid McDonald, Ivan Henry, Stephen Gale and Javon Baker were left empty-handed despite benefiting from 2 disqualifications to finish 4th in 3 minutes 04.96 seconds. The event was won by the Americans in a season's best 2 minutes 59.78 seconds. Jamaica's other medals on the day came from Ramon Bailey, bronze in the men's long jump, with a season's best 8.13 meters. Samoya Campbell 2 minutes 01.59 was good for third in the women's 800 meters. Jamaica ended 4th overall with 153 points, behind winners USA with 219 points. Trishana McGowan, TVJ Sports.
And that's the Midday News. I'm Herman Green. Join us at 7 for the Primetime News Package. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, good afternoon.